Thursday Open Lines live from our Super Talk studios downtown Brookhaven. You still have about a quarter hour to get by City Perk. Get a large coffee for medium price as long as we're on the air. They're located right next to KFC on the Boulevard of Food in Brookhaven, Mississippi. So get on by and see the folks at City Perk. If you are maybe 40-somethings or 50-somethings out there, you may know Johnny Smith from his DJ days. When he went around DJing those proms and
well, that's a long time.
pulling that trailer all over the world.
That's right.
If you've been around more recent years, you probably had your picture taken by Johnny Smith. He is everywhere with that camera. If something's happening, he is there, and you'd know him that way. But this morning, we're going to talk to Johnny about a part of him you may not know anything about. In addition to all the other things Johnny Smith is involved in, he is a biking enthusiast, and to be specific, an off-road biking enthusiast, which I don't understand at all. But
that's right. It's bikes with the fat tires.
Right. Hey, how long have you been doing the biking thing?
Probably about 10 years, I guess.
Okay.
I started out riding on the road just for the exercise and the health of it, and a guy introduced me to off-road riding on the bike at Clear Springs over at Homachill National Forest. I guess about 5 years ago, and that's when I fell in love with that aspect of it, and hadn't stopped. Been doing that ever since, and that's kind of how we began this trail.
So you got the idea to build your own place on the family property out there.
That's right. We had ridden at Clear Springs, and Katrina closed Clear Springs down for a certain amount of time, and a lot of red tape getting it back opened up, and it's back going strong now. But at the time, we were just looking for an outlet, for a bunch of us guys to ride, and I got to looking at some land around on the property and found a few little fire trails and critter trails, and just kind of went from there. Started out with a machete and an axe and a rake and a hoe, and I never knew it would develop into what it has now. And so I guess we've been doing this. Well, Katrina was in '05, so we started right after that. I guess in the fall and the winter. And started making this, and we're up to we have 6 miles out there now. 6 miles through the woods, a lot of hills and creek crossings and little ladder bridges, and it's pretty neat. It's something for everybody. We've had a lot of people from really all over the United States come and ride. I don't know how they found it, just word of mouth, and through some bike trade magazines, and we've had some national exposure here lately with bike magazines. A couple of guys came out here several months ago from California, and they did a little tour of the South, and I think they were expecting to come out here and just spend a couple hours and get an idea of it and then ride on. But they actually came, liked it so much, they spent the night here in Brookhaven, came back the next day and shot a lot of pictures of a friend of mine, Tracy Case, works over here at the bike shop. He brought his bike out there, and they got him riding over a few bridges and things, and so that got some national exposure, but there's a lot of people locally that we're trying to get the word out to. It's really a family-friendly health benefit that a lot of people come out there and ride. Not only just riding bikes, they walk it and hike it. Brookhaven cross country team comes out there and trains on it. Had a few baseball teams come out there and ride and hike on it and run for exercise. Even had some Boy Scout groups come out there and get some badges. I don't know what they did out there, but they completed some badges out there. But it's kind of taken legs and on its own and grown, and we're just trying to keep up with it.
In total ignorance of biking, an organized event, what would happen?
We have a lot of. We haven't had an actual race at our trail other than just a little small one we had for kids out here a year or so ago. There is a South Central Regional Championship Series, a racing series, kind of like NASCAR on a bicycle. We race all over Mississippi, Louisiana, Tennessee, Alabama, and it's a point series, and that's I really got into that little series to go actually just ride some trails so I would know what was good about a particular trail and what I liked about it and what I didn't like about it, and we'd come back and add that to our trail, and it's pretty interesting. What we have out there is the main trail is a 6-mile loop where when you park your car, there's a kiosk, gives you directions. It's well marked. It's got arrows. The white arrows are the 6-mile loop, a little bit more advanced loop. If you're just starting out, or you want to walk, or you want to hike, there's also a 2-mile loop, and that's marked with yellow arrows. When you start off at the trailhead, each loop brings you right back to where you parked your car. We got a canopy, a couple of canopies out there at the trailhead with the kiosk. We even have a fire pit and a barbecue grill out there. So a lot of we've even had some people come out there and have birthday parties and bring their kids out there and have a birthday party, rode bikes, and actually the trail even goes around a little pond out there. So we're thinking about putting some fish in there one day, maybe do some fishing. So, but anyway, it's been the doors that have been opened and the people that have found out about this is it's pretty amazing, and we've had people from all over come. We have a lot of big following from some guys in New Orleans and Baton Rouge that come up here practically on a weekly basis, and they'll come stay the weekend. They'll ride all day and stay the night and come back and ride the next day, and so it's kind of odd. We probably have more exposure away from Brookhaven than we do from the people in Brookhaven. Mostly the people around here that ride are just guys in our group and our club and ride. And I don't know if you saw in the paper Monday, a good friend of mine, Jeffrey Hodgson's going to an Exterior World Championship Series. Well, he rides and runs out there all the time. And so he trains out there. We had a lot of guys train for the series, a lot of competitive trainers running, along with just some recreational people, just riding and walking for the health benefit of it.
Well, John, I'll tell you, this is interesting to me. I've just kind of started biking. I'm riding a mountain bike on the road, and that's kind of what I've been doing.
That's exactly how I started.
Is that right? Well, let me ask you, is there anything special that the folks would need? They bring their bike out here with you?
One thing that's unique about this trail is for any age level, any skill level. We got something for everybody and any bike. And you can go get a department store bike,
right,
and if you want to. But if you like it, you're going to want to upgrade.
Right, Shannon's got a bunch of them.
Oh yeah, and he's got some good ones over there, and that's kind of our local hangout. We go there and talk bike and get bikes all the time, and so that's any level. You can bring your kids, you can ride with your kids, you can ride the 2-mile beginner loop. We also have an intermediate loop that you can advance, and on our advanced loop, we even have some bridges and creek jumps. And if you get on our blog, we'll have a few videos of that, but don't let that scare you. All of that has optional routes that you can bypass the bridges and the creek jumps and things like that.
Well, you mentioned blog. How can folks check you out on the web?
Sure. We actually got a blog. It's called, you can look it up on mzbiketrail.wordpress.com.
All right.
And they can look that up, and or they can just, if you got any questions, they can email me or call me if you want to. Call the studio. My email is johnnysmithphotography@yahoo. And any questions you like, we'd be glad to meet you out there and give you a tour.
Do you have to get reservations? Do you like that?
Come out there anytime you want. There's people out there all the time. It's easy to see. Once you see the trailhead is just about 50 yards off the main road. Park anywhere. It's pretty self-explanatory. There's a kiosk with some directions and instructions on where the trail leads, and there's even an emergency exit. The good part about our trail, I think, in the 6-mile loop, you're never over a quarter of a mile from the trailhead. So if you get into it and say, hey, this is kind of tough, I'm going to get out of here and cut across. There's some trails, like at Clear Springs, an awesome trail system. They have a 10-mile loop, and if you get 5 miles into it, you're 5 miles from the trail. So take you a while to get back.